I think for me, I realized I was trapped. And I think that might
Mhm.
resonate with a lot of the audience because
Yeah. Yeah.
I had quote unquote the perfect life. I made $100,000 a year, had an okay house, mortgage, wife, all the dream that the society sells you, right? But I realized I wanted more, but I could also never have freedom with what I was doing. And for me, it was always I wanted time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. I wanted to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. And I realized if I worked for a corporation, that's never going to happen. I'm going to have to dance to their tune. And that's where I saw the opportunity of what was happening online of like, okay, cool. Like this is my escape vehicle of how I can get out of this position. And if I don't take this jump now, I never will. And I think about this a lot. If I'm radically transparent, I procrastinated on that leap of leaving my full-time job for way too long, probably about 6 to 9 months. Why? I was in the most dangerous position people are in their lives, and they're probably listening to this right now, the comfort zone. I had a salary job. I was making $100,000 a year. I was making $20,000 a month part time as an online coach. I was loving life. It was easy, but I knew I could do more, and I knew like what if, and I took that leap. I remember leaving my job 25th of February 2019, and as I worked in real estate, 50% of your salary was commission based, right? So if you gave your notice in, you got paid half of the month. I was like, I'm not doing that. So the day I got paid, I went in and just got myself, I was like, I'm leaving. I went home. I managed like a branch, and my area manager called me. He's like, you can't just leave, you have to come back. And I was like, no, I don't. And for me, that was the moment I realized I
You have
could
the
do
freedom.
whatever I want, whenever I want. I have freedom, but I just have to work and rely on myself and fucking put your nose to the grind and do what it takes. And then you never have to dance to anyone else's tune again. And for me, that was like my Independence Day that really was like the inflection point for me really changing my life. And I think I look back now with a lot of pride because it took a lot of courage to do that because a lot of people thought I was insane. Particularly back in 2019, this was less of a thing. And I think people need to think, what if it worked rather than what if it doesn't? Because if it didn't work, I'd get another job in real estate. I was good at what I did. It'd be easy. But if it did work, I get to live the life of my dreams. And the latter happened, which I'm fortunate for. And people need to think more like that.
Yeah, I love that. It really goes to show how, like, when you take that leap of faith, you highlighted at the end there that if it works out, like, you're in a great position. And worst case scenario, you just go back to work, right? It's like you're not really doing yourself any service by being afraid of taking that leap, but rather just take it, see what happens, and then worst case scenario, you're back where you were already. So that's awesome. What would you say has been some of the experiences that you've had when it comes to helping some of the coaches that you're coaching take that leap into that full time?
I think the biggest thing that we crave as entrepreneurs and we are afraid of is uncertainty. So it's a leap into the unvoid. It's like, oh, I've had a slow week for sales. No one's ever going to buy my thing again. Like the whole thing's falling apart. Things coming crumbling down. I think me having a lot of experience in the industry and also working with some of the biggest coaches in the world, like we've helped 7 coaches hit the first $100,000 months in the last 4 months in fitness, which is pretty wild. And like, I'll give it a good example. One of them is a guy called Dave Kennedy. This isn't mental. I would never believe I was going to say this. So a year ago, he was making 15,000 euros a month. And then a year later, he's making 150,000 euros a month. He lives in rural Ireland. His fitness business helps farmers get in shape. He specifically just coaches farmers and the farming community,
Wow.
um, which shows like how big this market can be when you focus on something so specific. And I think the biggest gift I have helping people is giving people certainty and conviction so they can go and do the thing. Because we're all the same, right? Like the biggest reason we don't achieve the things we want is we get in our own way and it's a lack of conviction to do the thing. Where someone's like, I've done this works, you just need to do X, Y, Z. It then becomes very easy. And I think it's that uncertainty in the back of people's head, which makes them apprehensive to do the thing. And if you can give someone conviction and certainty, they do it, they get a little bit of momentum, which then gives them success, and then success gives them a bit more momentum, and it's that type of loop that gives them confidence to then succeed.
If you want to save time on watching all the episodes, but still get all the gold nuggets that we find from interviewing these 7, 8, and 9 figure entrepreneurs, then you can get all of that inside of the 2 Comma Club newsletter. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com and subscribe.